Coach Burns here with a video version of Rock, Roll, and Remember. Acquired a T3000 coin-op tornado table earlier this month, and I want to show you what I did to make some improvements to it. Doesn't affect the play at all, just improves the longevity of the table. First of all, let's start with the legs. Wanted to show you that I took off the existing Tornado factory stock feet. I don't like these feet. They don't pivot with the unevenness of floors. They're just solid fixtures, although you can level them. These new feet, called the level mount swivel stud, half-inch, 13 number, 4-inch base, they pivot to fit with the floor contours, and you can also level them as well. And you may need to take a drill bit and drill up into the hole a little further to allow room for this bolt to be accepted in there. I also found that there was only 2 screws in each of these female units that accept the bolt, and there were a total of 4 holes that would accept screws. I went ahead and drilled holes into these other 2 holes here to put screws in so that I can put 4 screws in to make this more stable. So that's the foot arrangement. I got those pivot feet at Granger, my local supply store in town. Going to the top of the tornado cabinet, you can see what I did here. I took the aluminum deflector plate off and used a screwdriver to do that. And inside, you'll find that often the back sides of these gold mounts get chipped up with repeated shots. To prevent that from happening, I went ahead and got black vinyl kick plates at my local home improvement center, and you'll want to use this rolled edge right here at the top of this vinyl plate. Cut that into a strip section that will fit inside here and over here. And I use this adhesive liquid nails product called Fuse It. I find that is the best product on the market for gluing vinyl to wood. So after cutting this with a leather shears, this vinyl kick plate, cutting it to size, you can go ahead and glue it in on this edge and also over here as well. I also glued a strip along the bottom edge of the goal here too to prevent this wood from getting chewed up as well. And you'll want to make sure that it's trimmed properly so that it doesn't affect the play field as far as the ball roll into the goal. I also used this Bullseye 123 primer to prime all the bare particle board wood areas. That gets soaked in pretty quickly, so you want to go with a thick primer that'll adhere to that particle board. Sometimes it takes 2 coats. And then finally used Rust-Oleum protective enamel in gloss white to go over the top of that primer coat to paint all the goal edges here. On the sides of the goal mouth, I used this black plastic dip product. Took about 2 or 3 coats of that to deaden the balls when they come in and hit off these side plates. I went ahead and did that on both sides of the goal, as you can see here, to protect the wood and to soften the ball when it comes in there, forcing it down to shoot quicker. And all bare particle board areas I painted with the white primer and then went over it with that gloss white finish I showed you. I wanted to make sure that even the edge of the table here, everything that was covered so that it wouldn't soak in moisture or grease. You'll want to use tape, painting tape where needed to protect areas you don't want to have painted. Here's the measuring tape I used to cut those vinyl strips of the right size. 220 grit sandpaper works best for sanding off rough edges of the table, and a knife to get rid of any glue residue that may be on the table from the factory. You'll want to use a roller to roll on the paint in the bigger areas, medium-sized paintbrush in smaller areas, and a fine tip brush for real small areas. Painting tray, stir stick you'll need for stirring the paint. And where the serial number is on the table, I went ahead and taped that off and sprayed it. I also put my table B2. I label all my own tables in my personal collection with a code number. Wrote that right above it. But this Rust-Oleum crystal clear enamel I used to spray over that taped off area after I was done painting to protect that serial number so it wouldn't get smeared or destroyed, and keeps it in good shape for years to come so you can see it. This is the top of the table here, which is flipped over upside down. I also painted this area where you put your hand, black Rust-Oleum paint color. Let's go over to the bottom half of the table. I'll show you what I did with that. I went ahead and painted the entire inside. Had to clean it out first, vacuum out all the dust after sanding everything, and then put that primer base coat down first, and then finally the gloss enamel finish coat. And again, protected my serial number spot here with that gloss clear enamel spray, showing the date of the table, when it was manufactured, and the serial number and the code. And I've got the other parts out drying outside, the ramps, the prop stick, money box, ball ramp, and all that. But just gives your table a good coating that'll help it last for years to come and keep it in good shape. You may want to consider making these improvements, especially to a new table right away when you get it, before you start using it. That's it from Coach Burns.